So, hello, my name is James, and my project is something I like to call SafeLink. So first of all, some basic introductions. I'm a 10th grader at Queen Lutheran High School. Coding is my hobby, and I spent around half a year, around like 5 to 6 months on this project. So I was inspired to make this project because of several suspicious links and link-related scams that were going around Discord and various other social platforms that I were on. So I decided to attempt to make something that would make people who are new to the internet safer in general. So what is SafeLink? So it's an internet extension that is meant to protect users from links that may harbor malicious intent or be potentially harmful in any way to the user of the extension. So SafeLink uses an understandable AI that keeps users safe. So here's just a little showcase of the SafeLink GUI that just explains how the extension works and just some other stuff that relates to it. So I do have a website. It is right here on the screen. And I will go ahead and post it into the chat too, in case you want to visit it later. And now allow me to give a simple demo of my project. So as you can see right here, I have my project displayed. The extension is turned on with the GUI. And so basically there's 3 links that I singled out, which I'm not going to click on because they're most likely malicious links and just some that I made up in general. So this one is the reason that it's highlighted is shortened is because it's shortened and it has a redirect in it. And for this one, it's just as a more generally untrustworthy ending. And for this one, it's just supposed to display that just because it has like a more trustworthy ending in the middle, that's not really an ending because it might just be put there to trick people into thinking that's an ending. It won't save it because it doesn't actually look at anything but the third part, which is basically the ending of the link. So here's just a simple look at my code. Up here, I have all the imports that I have. These are mostly just libraries. And down here, I have a little learning section for the AI to identify what is safe and unsafe. And then further down, here's the rating system. So basically, it targets redirects, shortened links, blogs, out of domains, and endings. So for redirects, it's pretty simple. There's a redirect and it returns a smaller number. And if it doesn't have one, it returns a larger number. And it rates how safe or unsafe it is, depending on the average to see if it's over 5 or not. And for the bit.ly, it's just a shortened link. If it is a shortened link, then it returns a 1. And if it's not, then it returns a 5. Same goes for both blogs and out of domains. And for the endings, there's a slightly more advanced system of numbers here, judging from what ending it has, like .govs, .edus will rank higher than .coms or .nets or .orgs. And then, so down here, I'm still kind of updating my code as time goes on. So these are still kind of unreleased features where it counts how many digits or just judges the link off of the length of it. So yeah, that was just a little simple demo. Now, some challenges that I faced during this was that I had to research a lot of things, mostly just code that was viable for this type of system. and also making sure that JavaScript runs in order, as sometimes it tends to run like not from top to bottom, but more disorganized, since it runs depending on whichever code loads first, it runs before, which caused a lot of difficulties. So another thing was learning and using new types of languages. I had to use quite a few languages that I was kind of unfamiliar with, like HTML and JavaScript. And libraries and plugins were also sort of a problem, as for some reason my VS Code couldn't download it directly from its terminal, so I had to use my computer terminal for that. And then figuring out what libraries to use and if they're needed or not was also difficulty, as I had downloaded some that I didn't actually need to use, which caused a lot of problems later. And then also utilizing just a lot of the knowledge that I gained here at Coding Minds over the last few years. So in the future, I hope to improve this project a lot, as it is still having a lot of problems in general. So just some improvements in AI with identification and rating, a more advanced rating system, which I kind of already showed a little bit of, and like a blacklist or like a whitelist that will make the extension more customizable for the user. And then some general fixing and tweaking of the code. Oh my god, I'm having trouble with English, sorry. Fixing and tweaking of the code to make it better and more neat in general. So here's just a little simple Q&A of some questions that came up when I was just randomly showing this to some people before. Feel free to take a second to read this. I can come back to this later. And that's it. Here's like a contact section. If you have any questions after this, you can just send an email to me, but I will also stay on here for around like 5 minutes or so you can ask some questions.
Okay, very nice. So one question is, did you get any inspirations from any people or apps, existing programs?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Did you get any? What were some inspirations that you got from any people or existing programs?
Oh yeah. Well, I took some inspiration from just some basic spam detecting programs on Google Chrome. I looked through a lot of their code, and it's actually very useful. I actually got the idea of the rating system from them, where they had like kind of like a rating system from just seeing which like emails seem more like spam by identifying some common factors of spam emails. That's kind of what I incorporated into my code, where I found some like reoccurring I guess similarities throughout some of the suspicious links that I saw, and I used that to kind of make a preliminary identification for just suspicious links in general.
Nice.
So if you have any more questions, you're welcome to post them in chat, but I'll just be waiting. Right. So some other improvements other than what I was mentioning for me is just basically training the AI a lot more, because currently it's machine learning is it leads it to some questionable decisions. But if I have to, I might have to make like an all new rating system that's more generalized, or maybe like improve upon just the rating system in general, because right now it only uses like certain aspects and very specific numbers. So maybe in the future it would have like a more advanced rating scale. As I mentioned, it took me around like half a year, like 5 to 6 months. A lot of it was spent on research, but it came out all right in my opinion.
So, can you give a brief explanation on how you did your research?
So basically, first, what I researched was a lot of similar programs. Being at first, I wasn't really sure where to go with my identification, because in the beginning, I kind of wanted to just get rid of the suspicious links completely. So I researched a lot of ad blockers to see how they identified advertisements, and then I got the idea to highlight them instead in case the identification was wrong, or just to give the user more of a choice. And so from that, I started researching just a lot of spam identification, as I mentioned. And then after that, it was just more general code research, like, oh, what code should I use for this? What libraries are useful for what I'm trying to do here?
So, is your program in the App Store and Play Store, or?
Unfortunately, right now it's just in the Google Web Store. I don't have any, I guess, plans to expand to mobile, as this I still need to optimize this a lot into PC. So maybe in the future, when I do pretty much everything I want to do with the extension, or to like a point where it's more professional and just better in general, I can maybe contemplate putting it on a different device. But for now, I don't think I'm ready for that.
Okay, very
So
nice.
sorry. So the SafeLink website is more like an introduction to just to me and to the extension. It has some general information on it, and it also has a link that you can click to get to the web store page of my extension if you want to go check that out. So it's more like a generalized hub for it. Like it has tech stacks, about me page, and also just general links. And if you need to, if you forget the contact and you want to talk to me, it's also on there. There's a contact section on there too. So it's just like a general place for you to find information about this.
Yeah, James, actually I have one question. Can you actually show us how to download the extension?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So basically, all right, give me a second. Let me just. So if you go onto my website, this is like the easier way. You can just click on this right here, and it will take you straight to the web store. And if you if you want to, you can also go to the Chrome Web Store and just search up SafeLink, and it should be right here.
Yeah.
It's very simple. Just click Add to Chrome, and it should be here. Yep, it should be right here.
Okay. Yeah, seems good. How long that takes to you to publish your software to Google Store?
It actually took quite a while because I ran into some problems with it, with like trust publishing. Like I didn't really know what permissions to actually. Sorry, let me just remove this because I already have it. I didn't really know what permissions to like add onto it. Like there was some active tab, and then I requested a bunch of the wrong things, and it was just kind of a mess actually. So it took like around like a month to actually get this up. During that month, I was working on this website, so it was kind of well spent. Yeah, I also didn't have a privacy policy for it. As you can see, I added it right here because I got rejected the first time because of me requesting like permission to do stuff that I didn't need, and then the second time was because I didn't have a privacy policy, which I do now. So it actually took quite a while to publish.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah. Just a simple question. Do you read this privacy policy by a template or just build up from scratch?
So this I kind of just took like a template and then just edited it.
Okay, no worries. All right, guys. The James project is a very special and a useful project. I think James already published the website link in the Zoom chat channel, right? So once you guys see the link, feel free to actually copy it and go through to the Google Store. Actually, click on Add and try it. It's a very nice extension. Yeah, thanks, James.
Yep, no problem. All right. I just would like to mention too. I'm still working on the AI, so it's like a little bit. It's a little bit outdated right now since I'm just trying to get it to work better. But it may in like I think maybe a week or so, I will get like another version out that would have a much better AI than before. As this is more like a prototype version that I used to test this effectiveness and then to see what I can improve on.
Yes, that sounds like a good plan. Yeah. Feel free to let us know if you need any help. All right, Terrence, other questions?
Okay, so I think if there's no more questions, then that's it for tonight's Coding Minds project presentation. Thank you, James, for presenting and sharing. And thank you all for joining, and we will see you next week. Good night.